It's time for my annual Best GoPro Accessories video guide. And this one will feature slightly different products because the GoPro Hero 13 is quite different from previous GoPros. Previously the Hero 9 through 12 shared the same batteries, the same lenses and filters, but all of that has been slightly tweaked with the new Hero 13. I'll get into more detail later on in this video. But first, one thing that has not changed on the Hero 13 is the memory card. It still uses a micro SD card, and I personally love these Samsung Evo cards. I have a 256 gig card that pretty much just lives in the GoPro. But if you're like me, you might still carry a second or even a third backup memory card just in case. And if you do, you're going to need a memory card holder. Personally, I'm a fan of battery chargers that also double as memory card holders because they're more efficient. Now, the official GoPro battery charger is not one such charger, unfortunately. It gets the job done. You can charge up to 2 GoPro Hero 13 batteries at once, but like I said, you can't store memory cards. And this charger is also quite pricey at $80. But it does include 2 official GoPro Enduro batteries, valued at $30 a piece. So the charger itself, in that instance, is worth about $20. But as far as I can tell, you can't just buy the GoPro charger, you have to get the bundle with the batteries. While I'm on the subject, I do recommend using the official GoPro batteries for your camera. I'm willing to use third-party accessories for most things, but not batteries. I've heard in the past that doing so can cause bugs in the camera. Now, whether that's true or not, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm not willing to take the risk with the track record of GoPro and its bugs. However, I do recommend using a third-party GoPro battery charger, such as either of these options by Teleson. They both cost just under $30, and they can fully charge up to 3 batteries in about 2.5 hours. They also have lids to keep the dust out and keep the batteries contained. The GoPro version doesn't have a lid. And best of all, the lids have little slots to hold your memory cards. The main difference that I can see between these two Teleson chargers is their form factors. And I personally prefer the rectangular one because it slides into my pocket more efficiently. This boxy one is more similar to the GoPro version. And I have to admit when I'm holding them that the GoPro version does feel a little bit more solid and more robust. But it can only charge 2 batteries, and it's lacking the lid as well as the memory card holder. So, trade-offs. Now, speaking of charging, another accessory that you might need is this replacement GoPro battery door cover that has a little hole for allowing a USB-C cable to pass through and charge your GoPro. This allows you to feed power to the camera while keeping your battery protected, which can be useful if you're filming outdoors, like a time lapse at night, or filming for prolonged periods of time outdoors in the elements. Now let's move on to filters. If you're filming outdoors in really bright lighting, you might need a filter, like a polarizing filter to reduce glare and also enhance the saturation. GoPro does not offer an official polarizing filter, but there are third-party options that work pretty well. You might also want to use ND filters to cut down on the amount of light in your scene or to introduce some motion blur for so-called cinematic videos. Now, GoPro does have official ND filters, and the ones for the Hero 13 are special because they feature auto detect. So the camera can automatically adjust settings or even suggest which ND filter to use. However, the GoPro filters are rather pricey at $70. So if you're on a budget and you don't mind not having the auto detect feature, you can get third-party ND filters and even a bonus polarizing filter for a little under half the cost. Next, let's talk about GoPro mounts. I have quite a few of these and I use them depending on what I want to film. My first most frequently used mount is a basic pole or a mini tripod. For me, it's essential that this mount is extendable, so I can adjust the camera height to be eye level while keeping my arm at a low angle. I personally prefer this PGY Tech mini tripod, while my partner Martin prefers this longer pole by DJI. Now, occasionally we'll also opt for a combination mount and a battery charger, like the official GoPro Volta or this Volta alternative by PGY Tech. Mounts like this are really helpful for giving the GoPro a little bit of extra juice if you're out filming for a long period of time. And they're also nice because they can double as external batteries and charge things that are not your GoPro, such as your phone or your microphones. And I will talk about microphones in the next section, but I have a few more mounts to talk about first. The first one is this necklace mount. So I've talked about this in previous videos a lot because, besides the mini tripod, this is probably my favorite mount or accessory for my GoPro or my action camera. And it's great because it is, it functions like a necklace. You just pop this part out, stick it around your neck, and then this part I always have a little, there we go, clip it into place, and then you put your action camera on the end. And this is really great for doing, hands-free shots, especially if you need a POV shot. I just put my camera on, put it into hyperview or something really wide, and then I can get my hands doing, showcasing a product, demonstrating a product, like how it works, or even doing something like driving or cooking. So I use this mount quite a bit. And I also love that it is so flexible. I can curl it up, I can hook it to the outside of my bag, and it's a mount that I pretty much always have with me for whenever I need to do hands-free POV shots. My other favorite mount here, besides the mini tripod and the necklace mount, is this suction cup mount. I've been using suction cup mounts since the beginning of this channel to mount my camera to the car, and so this mount in particular pretty much lives in my car. I always have it there just in case I need it. I frequently film videos in or outside of my car, and this mount is great because I can stick it on the windshield of the car, to the car door, and I can get some creative driving shots. Or I use it inside of the car, mounted on the windshield facing inside, or even on the sunroof, and it's really great for filming inside of the car. It's also surprisingly strong. I have driven up to 60 to 70 miles per hour with this suction cup mounted outside, and I've never had an issue with it. Finally, let's wrap up with some microphone accessories. Now, even though the GoPro Hero 13 has some accessories that are not compatible with older GoPros, one thing that is still compatible, thank goodness, is the media mod. So you need this if you want to add cold shoe mounts to the camera or add an external microphone. The media mod even has its own built-in microphones, although the quality is just okay in my opinion. This is an audio test of the GoPro Hero 12 Black using standard audio with the built-in internal microphones. This is what it sounds like. Audio is unedited, straight at a camera. I'm standing an arm's length away from the camera. And so now I've got the Hero 13 Black inside of the media mod. We are recording using the media mod's built-in microphone. I'm standing in front of it. This is what it sounds like. Even though the Hero 13 does support adding a wireless microphone via Bluetooth, I personally find the audio quality to be lacking. So I still prefer to use a 3.5mm connected microphone, because the Hero 13 does not yet support USB-C mics. My most used GoPro microphone is the DJI Mic 2, or recently I've really been loving the DJI Mic Mini as well, while my partner prefers the Rode Wireless Pro. I have more videos deep diving into specific wireless microphones, and I'll link them below. But wireless microphones, in my opinion, are the way to go for the best audio quality because the microphone is clipped to you or whoever is talking, and that really does get you the best audio quality. Actually, I have one more category of accessories to talk about, and those are external lenses. So the Hero 13 is unique for several reasons, but one is that there were several external lenses that were announced along with it. So an ultra-wide lens, an anamorphic lens, and also a macro lens. And so I think there are some third-party lens makers, but again, I would stick with GoPro personally just because their lenses, even though they are a little bit more expensive, they all support auto detect. And that's just a really nice feature because you don't have to go in and change any settings. Like for anamorphic, a lot of times you have to de-squeeze that footage in post-production if you use a third-party lens. But with the GoPro anamorphic lens, the camera automatically does it in camera. And so that's one of several reasons why I'd recommend going the GoPro route if you want to get those lenses. They are really well made, high quality. I especially love that macro lens because I have never before been able to get close-up shots with my action camera. But now with that macro lens, I can. And the only other lens that I think is missing that doesn't exist yet, but hopefully will in the future, is a telephoto lens. So hopefully next year we'll see a GoPro telephoto lens come to market. And that would really make this camera next level in my opinion. But those are all of the current accessories that I recommend using for your GoPro Hero 13. Let me know in the comments down below if I'm missing anything, if there are other accessories that you find essential for your GoPro. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching, and I do have a detailed setup guide to the GoPro if you want to know the best settings to get the best quality video out of your camera. So check that video out next.